But obviously the other major feature is network staking, and we provide a really nice interface through the dashboard to do that staking. So let me show you that now. What you can do is in the top bar here, click network staking. And it's going to take you to a pretty full view of information about validators on the Radix network and allow you the tools to do staking. You can actually do this even without logging into if you want to. It'll just show you the validator list. But if you want to actually do staking, obviously you need to connect because it's going to have to interact with your wallet. So if I scroll down here, I can see the list of validators. Now these are, I mean, I'm on the test network right now, so these are not the real validators. So these just happen to be some validators that are operating on our test network. So these are a bunch that we're running, and we've got some people in our community that are testing out their own validator deployments on the test network. So this is very cool. And so what I'm going to want to do here is do some staking. Now, obviously we encourage people to stake to multiple validators. It provides more decentralization, and it also provides you some protection of basically not putting all your eggs in one basket to make sure that, you know, if one validator happens to go offline and you lose emissions from that validator, you're still getting it from other validators that you'd stake to. So what you can do is select multiple. So let me go down here and let me just pick off 3 of these validators that I like. Now you can choose before I go into the staking, you know, we've got quite a bit of information that you can view here on different validators. So you can see the total amount of stake to that node. You can see the percentage of that stake that's being provided by the node owner itself. We have an estimate here of the APY. This is an estimate that's based on a few things because we know that the APY is a little bit difficult to understand for people. You know, what you can do is you can choose the time frame that you want to look at the performance of that validator. So it's like, okay, over the last 3 months, what was the uptime of those validators? And based on that uptime and based on the fee that validator is charging, it'll calculate for you the effective APY for stakes to that validator. You're going to find those APY numbers are actually really similar because the fee is just a percentage that they take off of the total amount. And as long as people are operating at 100%, you're going to see pretty similar APYs, but nonetheless, we're going to show that to you pretty directly. That's not working actually in this testnet version, but this will be on mainnet. We've also got some other filters in here that allows you to kind of filter down on like which validators you want and what's important to you. But at the end of all that, let's say that these are the 3 validators that I wanted to stake to. So I'm going to click stake to selected. And we get kind of like, it's sort of like a shopping cart view here on the dApp. So I'm going to say, I can choose which account I want to stake from. I can choose any of the 3 accounts that I've chosen. I'll just stick with my first account here. And then I can choose how I want to do that staking. So the simplest is I might say, okay, I want to stake 1,000 XRD total, and it'll distribute that automatically between validators. Or if I want to, maybe I want to change those numbers. I want to do like 100 here and 150 here. And it'll add that up. But let's keep it simple actually, and let's just do, let's say 900 to everybody, so everybody gets 300. So I'm going to send this to Radix wallet, and this is going to be, so this is all just kind of a UI to compose this transaction, but ultimately the wallet is where this is going to have to be approved. Now, here's one of these things I'm going to have to explain about v1.0 that is not desired, but it's the way it is because we had to make some choices for mainnet launch. What you're seeing here is a raw transaction manifest. The reason you're seeing this is that when the wallet receives a transaction manifest, it attempts to match it to a set of patterns that we've got. So general dApp interactions, like on the Gumball Club, it's like, this is very simple. Tokens out, interacting with a component, tokens in, cool. We can show the user a nice simple summary, and that summary is something that is reliable. The user can rely that is actually what's going to happen that matters to me. We need to put one of those transaction summary views in for staking. That didn't make it for v1.0. We expect this is going to be going in very soon because obviously this is unfortunate. We know this is bad. But you know, in the beginning, you're going to have to deal with the fact that you're looking at, this is actually the raw transaction manifest. And if you want to, you can see what these things look like. You can see that I'm withdrawing some tokens and I'm doing these staking transactions to those 3 different validators. So, you know, if you're a tech head, this is actually kind of cool that's actually what the transaction is. It's not just some like, you know, vague hash that you're signing. But obviously we're going to be putting in a nice summary view for this in the very near future, so it looks better for average users. Okay. So when I want to do the stake, I'll slide to sign. It's going to submit that transaction to the Radix network. This will take a moment on the test network. It will be faster on mainnet. And there we go. So that was successful. It takes me back here. And now on the dashboard, it shows me, all right, you've got a total of 900 XRD staked. It shows me that these are the validators that I'm currently staked to. So I've got this new section. I can still scroll down and see the total validator list, but this gives me kind of the snapshot of like the performance of the validators that I clearly care about because I'm actually staked to them. So I can see the total amount I've got staked to each one of those, and I can see how much I'm unstaking from them, which is right now 0. But let's say that I did want to unstake from somebody a little bit. Not to pick on anybody, I'll just select this one. Actually, let me go in here and say I want to request an unstake. Actually, before I do that, let me show you one quick thing here. So if I go into that account, if I go over here, I can now actually see those stakes. So as you might have read, staking on the Radix Babylon network is liquid staking, which means when you stake tokens, you receive in return a liquid stake unit token that represents that contribution. This is the thing that when you unstake, you're going to take that liquid stake token back and send that back to the validator, and then the validator will start the unstaking process and start the required delay before you can claim the XRD back. This is all system operated. So the validator, the liquid stake units, these are all created by the system. Individual validators have no direct control of this. So there's no sense in which you are trusting your XRD to a third party. You're actually sending it to a system component, and the Radix wallet recognizes that this is an actual real validator component. This is an actual real valid liquid stake unit token, and so it can show you the real value of those tokens at any given point in time. It's a little bit actually wrong right now. It's showing 299. It's doing a round off error. This is something that we need to fix. There's kind of some fractional stuff due to the arithmetic of the stake units. But you can see those tokens in the wallet there, and you can see what your stakes are. But back on the website here, let's see. I was gonna unstake here. So let's say I want to request an unstake from this validator. Let's say I just want to unstake 10 XRD. So let me send that to the Radix wallet. Once again, unfortunately, we get the raw transaction manifest. This will show you a nice unstaked transaction ultimately. I'm gonna sign that. And there we go.